Pitching, defense, timely hitting. I thought Austin Gordon gave us a great start. That's an outstanding Boston College team. You can easily envision them hosting and winning a regional next week. It's a dangerous lineup. There's no easy outs. It's one of the toughest teams to pitch call against, to navigate against, because they're going to fight and there's no quit. But Gordo just had great command of his stuff and attacked the zone and let the defense play behind him. And we were fortunate to put some zeros up. And then the timely hitting, the big 2-run, 2-out bomb that Caden hit, and then to extend a couple more in the second inning. And then we haven't been able to solve John West. He's been lights out and quick pitching, and he's just attacking, and it's on you quick. And he had our number when we played them in the middle game up in Chestnut Hill, and he had our number today. And so knew it was going to be a bit of a pitcher's duel there from the third on, and luckily Gordo held it down, and our bullpen arms did a good job. But the defense was great. Cam Canarella's highlight reel home run robbing catch was huge, because that makes the tying run in the ninth at home plate, not at first base. But just an all-around good game, and just proud of our guys for the way they competed and put all their energy into getting today and not overlooking anything.
Questions? Go ahead, guys.
This is Michael Ferrer with Berg Sports Network. My question is for the student athletes. Could you guys talk about each other's performance today?
Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself. Austin Gordon went out there and he does what he does. He went out there and threw all his pitches to strikes, all 17 of them, and he dominated the zone. And I mean, it just really came down to locating. Defense was great. He did a really good job. So it was really fun to watch and play behind.
Yeah, and he says all that, but it's really easy to go out there and do all that when you got defense, especially Caden first. And the home run, that's just part of what Caden does. Just hits home runs, and luckily we got it first, and kind of just went on from there.
So what was working for you today on the mound?
Just going out and competing every day. It's just another competition. Just my main focus was just competing with the other team, and got the defense put behind me, and we're good.
Also, I was going to ask, how did it feel to play with the lead? I know that hasn't always been happening for you this year. How did it feel for you to get out there and to have that 4-0 lead early and just work with that?
It feels good. It feels really good. And I give all the offense credit. They jumped early, and then that guy that came in for them, shut us down when we went to Boston College. He kind of shut us down today. So those 4 runs in the first 2 frames were really big for us, and just give all credit to the offense.
This one's for Caden. On Wednesday, Coach touched on it a little bit, but I wanted to get your thoughts, especially when I saw you smile about it, about Billy Amick and how he's been hitting behind you and what that's meant, having that kind of protection. And, he was hitting 500 over during this win streak, basically. So I'm just curious what his emergence has been for you.
Yeah, I mean, it really frees us up as an offense. And, I mean, having him in the 5-hole, me hitting in the 4, it allowed, you got to pitch to one of them. And, I mean, it's his roommate at home. It's my roommate on the road. He's a great guy. But, I mean, it's just really fun having him on the team. He's super laid back. He'll keep his cool no matter the situation. So, yeah, his emergence has been really big for us.
Caden, this team has scored a lot of runs recently with 2 outs. So what's the mindset going into those at-bats with 2 outs back against the wall?
Just being tough as nails and just competing pitch to pitch. We try not to look ahead, try not to look behind us, just going into it, treating every at-bat the same, and just grinding it out regardless of the situation.
Coach, you talked about Canarella stealing that home run, and obviously you have a lot of athleticism in this lineup. And just curious, for when you talk about the athletic defense here, how big of a key to that is your success, and how do you kind of evaluate that part of it?
I think the pitching and the defense go hand in hand, Aaron. There's a lot of synergy when you have good at both, because the pitchers are throwing a lot of strikes and keeps the defense engaged, and then on the flip side, the pitchers have the confidence to pitch in the strike zone knowing the defense is going to make plays behind them. So both areas have gotten better as the season has gone on. And we've got a veteran infield, and at times we've got a couple of freshmen and a sophomore in the outfield, so it's a little bit younger in the outfield, but they're all premium athletes, you know, highlighted by Will Taylor, a two-sport star, and then Cam Canarella, who, you know, is just a naturally gifted ball player. Wasn't an outfielder, but stuck him out there in January, and he looks like he's been playing there his whole life. So, you know, to have that versatility of just a multitude of athletes out there, it just expands our range. You got a 6'6" target at first base who's a super athlete himself, and so it's all those pieces connected, but a lot of it is just throw strikes, let the defense play, and that's where this team has been really good as of late. And we've gotten better starts out of our starters. It's allowed the bullpen to not be overextended, and the guys who've gotten healthy and come back and, you know, are filling up the strike zone and just executing, you know, kind of that Jimmy Bellinger simplistic genius of attack the strike zone and show toughness. And I think there's a lot of buy-in on the pitching staff to that. And you're seeing it, just that synergy of the pitching and the defense work together.
Coach, your thoughts on the matchup with North Carolina? Obviously, you guys swept them last weekend, but they gave you pretty good games on Friday and Saturday.
Oh, they're an outstanding team. They're an elite team. I mean, they're hot. They're playing well. They played well this time last year. They've got star power. A guy like Horvath. They've got good pitching. You know, even though Honeycutt's out, they still have star power and premium athletes as well. And, you know, Virginia's a potential national seed and an Omaha club, and North Carolina, the way they've been playing, they are too. They could make an Omaha run as well. You can easily see that just with the way they play and the star power they have, and it's a very dangerous team. So what happened last weekend has nothing to do with tomorrow, and you know, the team that's going to win is the team that plays better.
Coach, can you expand a little bit on Crichton's performance today? I mean, he's not a regular starter necessarily, but he was able to make a really big clutch hit, and I think he got a hit later on. I was just curious if you could expand a little bit on his performance and what it was like for him in that spot.
Yeah, he's a good athlete. He's a good baseball player, and you know, he actually was our opening day starting outfielder. Willie Taylor was still making his way back at that time. He battled a couple of illnesses, injuries, whatever, in the middle of the year, but you know, he's really got back to full strength and added value here as of late. That right field position has been a revolving door all season. But all the guys who have, you know, kind of been playing the hot hand out there, and a lot of guys have contributed in that 9-hole spot, that right field spot, and you know, Jack being he's a winner. You know, he's from Orchard Lake St. Mary's, #1 high school program in the country, multiple state titles. I mean, he's just comfortable, you know, in these big stage, bright lights types of games. But that was a clutch hit. I mean, and I love the way the inning unfolded with, you know, double steal, and he goes backside off a good pitcher. And, you know, it was a big clutch hit at the time to give us some insurance runs. But he's a good player, and he's a great athlete. And he's certainly got a bright future.
Erik, who did you guys go into with the approach today that was going to start for BC? And were you surprised a little bit that it wasn't West that was out there?
Well, we knew they were starting Flynn, so our scouting meeting was all about Flynn. And then we figured we would see West at some point. But Flynn's really good too. He's got a good induced vertical break on his fastball, and you got to do a really good job as a hitter of trying to push it down, because if you chase it up, he's going to have success all day long. Got a good slider and a good curveball, so he's got really good stuff. That's why we were fortunate to get him early. But John West, we still don't have the answer for that one. We didn't have it in Chestnut Hill, and we didn't have it today, and I hope we don't see him again. He's really good. He was quick pitching our guys, and they picked their head up, and he's already delivering. And you know, so he was pitching fast. He was throwing strikes. You know, and their defense is obviously very good as well. But yeah, they had our number there in the middle innings, and that's why it was so important to get the pitching performances we got as well from Bordeaux and Clayton and Hughes and Garris and Ammons, because that's a very dangerous line. But yeah, I thought we did a good job against Flynn. Excellent pitcher. So we were fortunate to get those 4 runs early.
Hey, Coach, first of all, Rob Hughes, do you know what happened there? And then Second part of it would be, do you know how you're gonna handle the pitching rotation the rest of the weekend, should you make it to Sunday?
Sure. Rob Hughes says low back tightened up, and if it was anything serious, just one of those, low back got tight. And then all I can tell you about is tomorrow, and we're starting a big guy here at the end of the table, and so Brice is going tomorrow, and that's really all we're guaranteed is tomorrow. So we're not going to hold anything back, and we're just going to keep playing the tournament, and we'll figure out Sunday if we are fortunate to get to Sunday. But we'll have our work cut out for us tomorrow against a really good North Carolina team.
I think that's all the questions that we have time for. Thank you. Appreciate it.